It's Philip's first day, autumn hunting with the West Somerset. Last year, a change in the committee saw Philip and 3 other keen fox hunters shoot to power as masters of this pack. Now the responsibility of his position is weighing heavily on the man's shoulders. Philip's got to make sure that the landowners, the huntsmen, the field and the terrier men all get what they want out of their day.
One of the things that we have to remember about hunting is that we are an entertainment. People pay to come out for the sport, and there has to be a very, very fine balance between people, whilst paying, also have to respect the fact that that doesn't give them any right to go over anyone's land on which they may see ahead of them. So whilst it is an entertainment sport, we have to provide entertainment for our punters, if you like. We also have to make sure that they respect the people over whose land we go.
What a fantastic face. On an autumn hunting day like today, it doesn't really matter, does it, if we use a quad bike or a horse? A quad bike. Why don't we use our Honda 4Trax 420 5-speed 5,500 pound X-Fat quad bike? Well, the Pytley and the Cornus ain't, so the master can choose if he uses quad or nag.
Both the quad bike and the horse are extremely versatile for going out for a day's hunting. However, they both have their advantages and their disadvantages. The great thing about a quad bike is it is extremely easy to control. It doesn't have a mind of its own, or not normally. And you are able to stop it and get off it and leave it and help somebody if you want to, or do a gate or whatever it might be. However, of course, you may come across a gate where you can't actually get through with a quad bike, or you might come across it to a field where there's a jump coming out and you might not be able to get over that jump with a quad bike, but of course you can with old Neddy here. So my preference would always be to ride a horse. On occasions where I might be out doing a bit of chatting to some new landowners or anything else, actually a lot easier on a quad, because I can get off the quad bike, go and have a chat with them, get back on and catch up with the hunt later on.
Now for Philip's big moment, the meet, and he's decided to take the horse.
Well, we're just about to start now and go over some beautiful country here on top of the Brenton Hills. The trail has just started to be laid, so we're just waiting to finish the meet and get on and chase the trail.
Like masters of foxhounds all over the country, Philip has the backing of the Countryside Alliance.
Hunting is one of the few, is the only activity which recognises a closed season for the fox, and hunts generally start in the beginning of September, and they'll pack up at the end of February, the beginning of March. So those foxes that are being hunted in the autumn are already very nearly fully grown, if not completely fully grown.
And they're off. Philip in charge of the field, Steve in charge of the hounds. And Philip's back.
Bizarrely, just left the meet, and the horse just tripped on some stones and actually pulled the shoe off. So unfortunately my evening on horseback's over. But let's jump in the car and go and see what we can find.
Maybe the best place to be on a day like today is not a horse nor a quad bike, but a warm car. So what sort of day did Joint Master Steve Coates have?
Despite the weather and a very wet pair of breeches, yeah.
You've got waterproof breeches.
Oh, yeah, I've got waterproof, so it does leak down, I'm afraid, yeah. But no, despite the weather, we've had a good time.
Smashing.
And having all joint masters out as well, which is even better. Had a small field, but you can't odds that with the weather in the situation as it is, really.
And landowners behave themselves?
Always do. No, they're absolutely terrific, absolutely brilliant. We rang them in the last 3 days. There was a couple of landowners did say that we didn't want you south of us now, as we're stood, which was quite understandable due to the circumstances of the weather. And the sun is starting to come out behind you. And otherwise, and we're in a very high populated area of pheasant shoots. So we try and work together, and it's worked terrifically well tonight. And so it's been good.